Yee, welcome to Barstool Bench Mob, presented by High Noon Hard Seltzer. I want this known that me and Jake deserve every single award for recording this podcast right now because we just landed, got to our apartments. Um, we did 16 hours of traveling from Iowa to New York. We boarded 3 different planes and only took off once, which is outrageous to even say out loud.
Every time you say that, I'm like, usually you're the one who's taken back by my stats. It's the reverse here.
That's
That's crazy.
That's
On
a good
3
stat.
direct flights.
You got on and then got off?
3 different times.
I'd rather have coronavirus.
Jesus.
I was going to go a little less mean. I was going to say, because Marty is Marty and Jake, you're 12 years old, where
Marty's like a year older than me.
People do that. Some bullshit. I'm only a year older than Jake. People think I'm like 40.
I have to wake up in the middle of the night to take my kid to the bathroom like 16 times. Would you
We'll
rather
get
have
it.
to do
We'll
that
get
and deal with
into
it
it.
or the planes?
Sorry, Reeks. I am old.
Me and you are the same age.
We learned that. No, I'm fucking old. We learned
No,
that
this
shit.
is what I'm getting into with Tabasco. Like I had to call him, and he's like, maybe you 3 just do it. This motherfucker was home at 1:00 today. He took the
PM.
6 a.m. out.
PM.
3. I got
Yeah.
the lead. I got the lead too.
3:00. We just got home now,
It's 2 in the morning.
and you're the one complaining.
I'm fucking old, bro. I was talking a lot of shit last night. I didn't back it up.
Yeah, so we'll get into that. We'll recap our entire Iowa trip. The Big East just
We're
stole
big
the
in Iowa.
headlines.
We're big in Iowa. I'm gonna
Yeah,
say
it was
that.
a fantastic show. The Big
Reeks,
East has been crazy.
over under women at the live show, not including waitresses.
All right, so Luca Garza's mom.
No. You think he brought her there? Fuck no.
For the live show? He
No.
was there, so I'm just assuming the family rolled in.
You were right there. You're right a little bit. The girlfriend was
Girlfriend was there.
Okay.
One.
So I'll say like 7.
there. Oh,
Under.
way under.
I said 7.
I think there was like
way under.
there were 2 girls who mistakenly walked into a place they didn't know. Like they didn't know they were walking into a fucking live show. And then there
Dude
was
went up to one of the girls being like, "How'd you end up here?" She's like, "This is my boyfriend. He made me come."
The other one saw a high noon sign and wandered around like it
Yeah,
was
they
like a
just-
beam of light.
They were like lost. Another girl needed a phone charger. There were like 3 girls there. It was insane. Perfect.
All right,
It's perfect.
let's get into
like
the podcast right
Us
now.
and Francesicon dominate the male audience.
All right, let's do it. And here we go.
Okay, before we get into today's episode, I want to talk to you about High Noon Hard Seltzer. Finally, we're back, and Rico's got his starting 5 up there. And also, shout out High Noon for being the best sponsor. We went to Iowa. They had $2 High Noons, and that probably got most of the crowd there anyway. So shout out High Noon. Everyone's like buzzing about it too. Like, holy shit, these things are $2 today. And we get to at the show. Rico made the poor bartenders go into each box and get only black cherries and put it into the bucket. It was amazing. But everyone was loving it. We were giving out High Noon merch because it's real vodka, real juice. It's got the best flavors. They're coming out with new flavors. Make sure you go get them. I still see you guys tweeting at us, and I see all your setups and drinking your High Noon on Saturday. There's nothing better. I put it on ice at the club later on. So did Rico. So it was one of the best drinks to have of all time. So shout out High Noon Hard Seltzer. Real vodka, real juice. 100 calories. Go get your High
Rico
Noon.
signed some High Noons in Iowa. Limited edition.
He did.
It could have
You
been
did.
worse. I'm surprised nobody threw one at me. Like, hey, fucking. I was waiting for somebody to be like coming back, but no, everybody was good. Also, the reps they send every year, like every show, are always the best too, Marty. Don't you think?
Yeah, they are.
Engaging with
Very,
people, they're the best.
very helpful.
Yeah. The next step is they got to start selling these in arenas. They got to start getting deals with High Noon to be able to sold at college basketball games because that's the next step.
I know they did in Florida.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, Florida. I saw that they were selling them at the football stadium. So
nice.
But yeah, so let's go through our Iowa trip real fast. first I want to say thank fucking God you were not on our flights because I would have beat the shit out of you if you had. You would have been so miserable on this trip if we were on these flights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I was miserable on my own flight.
No,
Yeah.
Rico, it was next level. You would have been. I don't even know how to put it into words.
Bro, the lady, whatever. I kept looking, but I forgot we took off because they had the seatbelt thing. So I had to go to the bathroom. I keep going like this. She thought I was like, she comes up. She's like, you okay? I'm like, yeah, you got the seatbelt thing. I got to go. She's like, I can't say no. I'm like, all right. I'm out of here. Like, it was.
But
Whatever.
besides the traveling though, Iowa was awesome. They took care of us. We went. We ended up getting dinner with J-Bo and Luca, which was fantastic. Then we went to Iowa shoot around. We talked to Fran. Rico talked his ear off about knowing someone from Staten Island or some shit.
The first thing we said, hey, I'm Jake, I'm Marty, I'm Rico. And Rico's like, I'm Rico. I know him.
Yeah. He doesn't.
It's an icebreaker.
Bro, he doesn't let you get a word in. Like he doesn't let the guy settle in either. He's like, he's like, this guy's a real player, right?
I thought we bonded. I did have him laughing about the table.
You did. No, you did. You broke the ice fast, but
I feel like that's Rico's go-to move. Like we're all you have the go-to move. You have your staple like 4-liners. Like, all right, there's the girl. I'm gonna say this, or this. That's it. I had 3 moves. Rico. Yeah. Let's talk about the possession arrow situation you got going on down there.
Exactly.
No, he did, and but they were very gracious with us. We got to do whatever we wanted. Then we did the live show. Everyone, shout out everyone for coming. The live show is huge. Like, even the people there were like, gotta be honest, didn't expect this many people to be here. So our venue is almost too small at the moment. But shout out the venue. The summit was great. And Luca was awesome. The fact that Luca came to our show before his own ceremony is insane.
Riggs, of all the ridiculous things that we do, what did you think of us putting him into the Hall of Fame, our own guest Hall of Fame, and giving him a plaque?
I really like that move. Like, I'm a big fan of something like that. Like, especially like very shtick based. Up one stage, I kind of wish. Like, I'm debating if I like that more. Like, oh hey, it's your jersey retirement night. By the way, you're a bench mob Hall of Famer, or going the opposite way and giving it to somebody completely random who, like, if he had like a roommate that poked his head in while he was on an interview, that guy gets the award.
Yeah.
No,
it was also funny. Because we gave him the award and it was like my DM and he answered me at 3 a.m. like fucked up. And in the DM, I was like, yeah, we've had guests like Connor Gillespie, and I used the wrong name.
Every time he writes that.
It is tough because the baseball player, like,
yes,
you can't have a Connor and Colin Gillespie.
Like, I mean, even like FS1 put Connor as well, so it's not my fault. But yeah, the live show was great. Then we go to the game, bro. We sat with J-Bo's family, and Luca was right in front of us. Rico looked up, he knew Bo Borowski, and he looked up the other ref's name. He was screaming at the top of his lungs at them the entire game. One of the refs looked at him and looked at Luca, like, hey, Luca, get this guy a beer. This guy's nuts. And he's got to earn your paycheck, earn the $3,300, earn it.
I'm like, stand up. I'm like, Rob, stand up for yourself, because Izzo was fucking lighting him up. So I was hitting him. Then the guy Don, something else. And he literally looked late in the game. We needed the over, obviously. So it's the under 4. So I'm like, do the full 40. I was like, earn the full 40. He looks. He's like, what'd you say? I thought I was getting tossed. I'll be honest, because I was riding him the whole.
You were close. I think you were close.
What was the other thing I said?
That would have been all time.
Yeah, I was like, Bo. I was like, you don't have to take that, Bo. Like, get your respect. That's when he goes to Luca. It's like, who is this fucking guy? He's out of his mind. But there was another one I said too that was fucking.
I think you were close to getting tossed, though. You really were.
Oh, Marty, no, that's what it was. When they're in the under 8 media rigs in the first half, they walk over and they're all fucking slugging. Well, actually, I hit them in the first media when they did the honorary salute of the game. and they weren't clapping. I was like, the guy fought for the country. Clap. They were like, but then they were slugging waters at the under 8. And I'm like, if you guys can't run, I was like, we got a long night. I was like, look, you're gasping. They're looking like sipping water. Like, it was this fucking maniac.
Like players do.
Yeah, like they said people across, they had us on the Jumbotron. We were just hammering these fucking refs. They were like, this guy's out of his tree.
Thank God that Iowa was beating the fuck out of them because all the fans loved it. Like,
Yeah,
they were losing and Rico's yelling at them.
We were leaning into it. And then I was jumping on top of him today because Joe Toussaint put up a clip where he basically gets assaulted, and I was tagging the Big Ten. Here's the kicker. If they're at Rutgers Saturday, it's going to be fucking awesome. If they're like, what does this guy travel the fucking country?
He's a Big Ten ref.
He's just a fucking maniac.
Dude, that would be such a funny series if you just always try to find where they're at and you just heckle them until you get thrown out.
I went in on that. Me and Rico just go and because nobody complains about refs. Like,
Here's the other part. They really weren't bad, and it was a 26-point game.
No, they actually, no joke. That might have been one of the best ref games I've ever watched in my life,
without a doubt. But like nobody is doing that. Like you have the opportunity, we might as well fucking.
We know all the names. Imagine if it's just me and Rico. We're not crossing the line, but we're seeing how many games we could get like kicked out of or recognized by the refs of just.
It'd be amazing.
Heckling them with. I'm coming up with stats like you're the 840th ranked ref on KenPom.
Don't make fun of Rico's friend.
There were good ratings on this crew. Don Daly 15, Bo Borowski 35, Rob Knuman 81. Like that's good ratings. There's tons of refs.
Riggs, the kicker is they're walking over and being like, hey, Luca, congratulate. And I'm like, Don, you're gassed, Don. You're gassed. And Luca just looks like, bro, these guys are like my friends. Like, what are you doing?
They're legit just being nice.
My blog for the Iowa recap coming out at some point today. You do not want to be a college basketball referee who is in the same building as Rico Bosco.
Yeah, we leaned in. I'll be honest, the game was it was great for Iowa. The game was a letdown. Izzo checked out. Michigan State stinks.
Yeah, no, he checked out. They stink. They have no shooters at all. Not one shooter.
I love it because while you guys were in Iowa, I spent all day in a Twitter war with Michigan State.
Oh, yeah. What's the deal with this? Give us the background.
They're just not
so it was based on Izzo had a press conference. He was asked about the handshake line, obviously, with Juwan and Wisconsin. And he went off the rails about how it'd be a farce to get rid of it. And then he said if they get rid of it, he's going to have his team shaking air, and then literally started walking around the podium shaking air. And I just was like, well, that's one of the greatest clips I've ever seen. Like, it's just grown men.
Yeah, we all saw the clip. It was great.
So I called it asinine because that's the word that he used about getting rid of the handshake line. Michigan State fans do not like if you say something negative about Tom Izzo. Where I was just like, I don't care. Like, I don't care what people do. It has zero effect on my life. And I just went, and then next thing you know, they are going nuts. It led to some guy calling Barstool the everything that's wrong with society.
Well, that's always
that was the same guy?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's always good.
Yes.
Well, that makes sense. That makes sense, bro. These kids get their news from us, and you curse, so you're rooting the show.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's why Jake's the only respectable journalist in this company.
Yeah, but yeah, no, like the game was awesome, but
then we went out.
We went out this night, and it was. I have never laughed so hard at Rico Bosco. Iowa Rico Bosco was my favorite Rico Bosco I've ever been with. He was putting buckets on his head. I would just look at him. He goes, "Bombed. I'm bombed."
That's a great Rico impersonation too, with the accentuation of the OM.
The kids were like, "Oh, you guys having a good time?" I'm like, or even right before we got there, I'm like, yeah, I'll show you guys shit you never even thought of. I was talking I'm like the old back out for one night, like out of retirement. It was like I'm trying to think. It was like Ewing on the Sonics. Like I still have the makeup of a basketball player, but I'm slow. I'm old. I'm washed up, dude.
You got the knee pads on going out to the bar.
You respect the great, but you're like, oh man, I wish I saw him in his prime because he's
Rico,
washed
you
the
could,
fuck
yeah.
up.
And Rico had him doing napkins like Jersey that DJs.
Stop,
Like
the girls.
And you're in Iowa City.
Some of the
Yeah.
people are like, "Why you throwing napkins everywhere? Like, what's wrong with you?"
I got into a fight with the DJ at the end.
You did,
He's like, I can't play. You can't play another song. I was like, play "Last Dance" by Donna Summer.
dude.
He like looked it up. He doesn't even have it. I'm like, are you serious? He's like, I don't know what that is. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
One of the funniest things that he did for people on YouTube, you could watch this, but like, what? Obviously, we had a table full, 15 guys. There was obviously no girls around us, but like, and then some of these kids had like a girl, like their girlfriend, come in or whatever, and they'd be nowhere near Rico, and Rico would just go like this: "Respect the ring, respect the ring."
It was just a bit. Like,
It was one of the funniest things I ever watched because, like, obviously they weren't going, like, no one was trying to do anything, but these girls, like, I didn't do anything, I swear.
I don't hate the move of just like jumping ahead where it's like just somebody walks in, respect the ring, respect the ring.
And
There was
like
other people at the table doing it for them after too. Like, watch out! Everyone's going like this.
It's like, I'm a 21-year-old girl. I want a fucking 34-year-old podcaster who's got a bucket on his head and he's screaming at Bo Borowski in a vintage Hawkeye sweatshirt. You're the guy. I want to wreck your marriage, buddy. You look great. Like, it was just
Rico,
the bucket on the head. Your head had to hurt. We were smacking the shit out of you.
It's great. I set that Uber and the guy like called me like 12 times. He's like, "Where are you?" I'm like, "I'm coming." It was nuts. It was a good time. I mean, it's just.
But in all seriousness, though,
I'm happy with just going to the game Saturday. Let's put it that way.
In all seriousness, though, like, shout out like the listeners. Because a lot of people came to the live show that we like every time. I don't know. We do this podcast and we kind of just talk to each other. We don't know who the fuck's listening. We don't know how many people are. But like seeing everyone in person in Iowa and like knowing about the podcast and shit's pretty cool. So I appreciate everyone coming out there. And it's even like crazy to say that like people know us in fucking Iowa.
Listen,
you know what I mean?
It's a Big Ten school. They're a loyal fan base. Driving distances from Chicago. I'd assume a lot of people who are from Chicago go there. So
stop justifying it. Just take the compliment.
No, you're talking to somebody from the East Coast. Like, Iowa's a foreign land to Marty. Like,
I didn't know it was in Central Time. I didn't know where it is on the map.
That's crazy.
If I listed like 10 cities, what's your over/under of what time zone you think you could get them correct in?
3.5.
Yeah, there's some tough ones.
That's what I'm saying. That's a good bit. We might have to do that one.
I think in the next episode, I want you to come with 10 cities.
Sorry, we already tried the second grade math test and he couldn't even finish.
That's fucking hard, bro.
Well, he knows he can at least guess. There's only limited amount of options that he has here.
Yeah, Iowa was awesome. Really unique arena too. We pull up to the arena and there's no roof.
Is it on campus?
Yeah, it turns out
it's right on campus.
Like street level is the top.
Oh, that's different. Yeah, that's cool.
No, they really rolled out the red carpet. It was. I mean, we were shooting beforehand. Like, Fran gives us 5 minutes. He's breaking our chops. The players obviously know who we are. It was awesome. A- trip. There was one small. It could have been an A+, but I think they kind of know where they messed up.
Oh, Rico didn't get any merch.
I mean, everybody left empty-handed. Not even a pair of socks. Like. So they had A- for the Hawkeyes.
They had fucking jail bars on the merch room
because they knew Rico was coming.
Time's tough, yeah.
But yeah, that's the Iowa trip. It was
they're a good team. I think they can shoot their way to the second weekend at the very least.
Fucking disgusting, bro.
Keegan Murray's really
good. Like when you watch him, dude. When you watch him, it was like. It was just like insane. You didn't realize he had 14 points in the first 8 minutes. Like, it was just like one of those, you know.
How about Iowa? I was gonna have 2 top 5 players of the year back. Well, a player of the year and a top 5 finisher back to back.
I have a Keegan Murray take that Luka Garza obviously was a better, better player, right? Like from the college standpoint. But I think what Keegan Murray does makes Iowa more dangerous.
Oh, It's not.
Like,
I
is
don't think
that-
it's a hot
is
take.
that
His numbers are really good too. Like
I
they're
don't
Well,
like,
he's
think
such
it's a
a
hot
good
take.
defender. Where Luka was just like a. I mean, you could take advantage of Luka on defense if you brought him out away from the rim. Obviously, like Iowa ran zone with Luka for a reason. Keegan Murray's just so different.
He creates his own shots so
He
well.
looks like a pro. Yeah.
Yeah, you could definitely tell. Also, to end the trip, Rico, I was in Iowa airport this morning, and
Oh, you missed out a big relationship.
this guy comes up to me, goes, "Hey Marty," I'm like, "Oh, what's up, dude?" He goes, My dad was at the fish fry." I'm like, "Oh, that's awesome!" Like I was there too. Like why? Like you're in Iowa. Why was your dad at the fish fry? He goes, "Well, my dad's Bill Self."
get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Was it Tyler?
Yeah, Tyler Self.
Yeah.
He's now
like, dude, he was
part of the
fucking-
Austin Spurs.
Dude, I talked to him like
front office.
he's awesome.
What?
We
Yeah,
were
Tyler's a
talking
good
to him
dude.
for like 30 minutes just about basketball. So he was awesome. Like I would love to even like pick his brain one day on here. Like he was really cool.
He's a good dude. Yeah.
So real quick, 2021, Luka averaged 24.1 points per game and 8.7 rebounds. Keegan Murray is averaging 23.5 and 8.1 rebounds. I mean, he's not fucking. He's right there.
He's on pace. Yeah. The thing is,
Right
Luka
there.
did it for 2
Dude.
years, obviously.
Like everyone's so has a hard on for Johnny Davis for all the time for like, but obviously like I think it's a fucking argument between the both of them.
He's shooting at a higher field goal percentage. I mean, Luka meant more, and but
That's not what. Wait, get off Luka for a second.
this kid can fucking play.
I think it's an actual argument for Keegan Murray and Johnny Davis.
I would throw Kofi in there too. Like I think those three, you can make a case for almost any of those three about Big Ten player of the year.
Yeah, Kofi's missed a couple of games though, right?
Yeah, but that like
Not many though.
I know. I think
three
it's
were
the everyone who keeps
injury.
saying like Johnny Davis, like
yes,
Murray's
I
just as
know he's good,
important.
but Keegan Murray doesn't get enough love as well. I feel like, and like
Colburn's unbelievable.
Like Iowa wasn't supposed to be this good. I
No.
know Wisconsin was. Like, it's the same fucking thing. All right. Before we get to the games, too, I have to talk about our boy KenPom for a second.
Perfect day.
Yep.
That perfect day is such bullshit.
He picked every game correct on Tuesday.
Okay, we're
All
gonna do
28
this.
games.
We're gonna do this. So we record when? Sunday?
We record on Sunday.
You think you can pick every single one money line?
Yes,
No.
dude. Yes,
It's tough.
money line.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it. What day?
I think he went. I think I counted. I think
He
went. Like,
had 28.
was
He had 28 on
28, yeah.
Tuesday.
It was on a lowest day. It was a low Monday. There were no upsets, and
No,
there
it was
were a lot
No,
of
he did it yesterday. He did it
Tuesdays.
Tuesday.
My bad. There were a lot of big lines.
Oh,
Yes.
so many big lines, and his predictions were 30 points off.
I mean,
From
he's not,
28
he's not
28
God.
to
He's not going to
28.
pick the score.
I know he's not God, but I can pick, dude. If I was a money line better betting minus 2,000s, I could be the best gambler in all America.
All right, let's knock off some teams. The Eastern Michigan Northern Illinois game, he had a 3-point game. Cal State Bakersfield, Cal Poly, a 1-point game. St. Thomas, North Dakota, a 1-point game. There's some close games there, and he got them right.
And did the home team win?
St. Thomas was on the road, Bakersfield on the road, Eastern Michigan.
Marty, you're dead wrong.
I'm
Yale
not. I
on the
know
road.
28
You're not
knows.
going for. All right, well,
28 knows
Charleston
very
on the
impressive.
road.
Santa Clara, Portland. Who do you think wins?
Portland.
Santa Clara is predicted to win by 11. Like this is we're only.
Well, but I don't know the fucking spread, bro. At 11, I picked Santa Clara. What do you mean? You are so dumb the way you're saying that. Where it's like, I understand going 28. No, I gamble. I understand it's really hard. But people are making a bigger deal out of it. Where it's if someone's 11-point favorite, yeah, they're gonna fucking win. So
But
the
it's all
low-
like there was
that
a
would be
lot of
slow.
1-2s.
That'd
Right,
be
that's what I
what
was
6
saying.
games that was, or like 1-2s.
So let me look right here. I'm pulling it up real quick.
Richmond,
His projections.
Yale, Charleston, Buffalo.
I think was
Those are all 2-possession predictions.
Okay, that's 4 games.
And then I mentioned the 3: St. Thomas,
Yeah, so you have
Bakersfield,
to-
Eastern
so it's
Michigan.
7-0, pretty much. He had to go.
so he had no. He had UConn as 1, Arkansas
But is that
as
Yeah, I
the
didn't
1.
even
real
do the
spread,
top
or is that
games.
his spread?
His
His spread, which his spread and the real spread are always within
Pretty
a half
similar.
a point at most. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a point. I'm telling you, it's more impressive. This isn't just us
It's
sticking up for
impressive.
KenPom.
I'm telling you, it's impressive, but it's not as impressive as everyone's saying.
He had 14. He had 13, 12, 11. He had about 10 to 12 games that were projected within 3 points.
I'm gonna do
that
it.
You would have to pick. That you would have to pick money line one way or the other.
I'll do it. I'm gonna do
All
it.
right.
You guys tell me a day. I'll do it.
Thursday, there's too many games.
Friday.
Here, we'll give you a lighter slate. Friday, 16
Around
games.
the same. We'll give you that.
All right, Friday. We're doing
Much
it.
easier than 28, but like if you go 16-0,
Okay.
and it's
You're
all
a star.
mid-majors too for the most part. So
Can I ask a question circling back? Did you guys work on Bill Self coming on the podcast?
Well, yeah, I'm in contact with him. I'm not gonna straight up be like, "Hey, Bill, hey, can you get your dad to
job.
come on?"
seconds after meeting.
That's just always work it. I got you.
No, I'm working. Yeah, I.
That's one of those on the dap up on the way out. Yo, yeah, good meeting you. Love to have your dad on, and then dip out. He don't know what hit him. He's like,
I'm already
"It's
on the
just-
DMs. Hopefully, he listens and he just texts me. But yeah,
We're
going.
booked. Hopefully we could squeeze him in. We're booked with Iowa guests for the next fucking 6 weeks.
Yeah, we
Austin
told
Ash has a weekly segment now. Apparently,
Austin Ash is gonna be. He might be the 5th mic on this fucking podcast this year. But speaking of KenPom, where he's wrong again, let's talk about a little Providence game here because that fucking game was unbelievable.
The Big East
What
stole
a
the
game.
show this week.
What
The
a
Providence game, no joke. I want to get my spiel off first. I will talk about the game in a second. What the lucky shit, I don't care if they're lucky. I don't care what it is. You are winning games. They know how to win in late games. They are what, 22-3?
23-3.
23-3 in the Big East. This
With
is
2
not
games left in this regular season.
This ain't the WCC. This ain't the fucking the bullshit conferences. This is the Big East where they're 23-3. They're a top 10 team. Doesn't mean that they're a national title contender. Maybe they do. I don't know, but they're winning. So everyone shut the fuck up and enjoy Providence because they are playing unbelievable.
what is their line was a 4 last time, right? They were a 4 seed.
On the
Three?
reveal,
Yeah,
they were
they're still a
forced.
4. Yeah.
What is their line? Because they have
How are
wins
they a
over
4?
Wisconsin and Texas Tech. Like what? I don't.
So
get.
there is
And Vermont.
You do have to and Vermont. You do have to take like a little bit of a grain of salt, right? Like they beat Wisconsin without Johnny Davis, still counts, but they lose by 18 to Virginia. They lose by 30 to Marquette. They lose to Nova. Not necessarily bad
Nova's
losses.
out.
but
That's a scrap.
The Nova one, Nolan's a home loss too, though, which doesn't.
It's Villanova, though.
No, for sure, but that's the difference
Yeah,
between
but
the
then
3
you're
and the 4.
also
You're
not
gonna lose to a team who wins the league like every year. We're gonna penalize them.
No,
for
but I'm
that?
saying like that's the difference between a 3 and a 4, right?
Yeah,
When,
I guess.
Yeah, but
Like-
what about you're not like they played Texas Tech at full strength.
that's their best win. That's an awesome win. That's how you stay as a 4.
I still
Like
think-
that's
all right,
that's
so
why
what do we think-
I don't think they can bottom out.
if they
what's the
win the Big
max?
East, they should fuck not
They
the
beat
tournament.
Nova. They beat Nova in the Big East final. What's their max?
3.
Really?
No, if they run the table, they can get it 2. They run the table.
So
that would
let's
be
see.
Villanova
For sure-
probably twice.
It's okay, so for sure, locks ahead of them. Gonzaga, Auburn, Arizona, Kansas, Kentucky.
UCLA probably.
Pick one between Baylor and Tech. You're at 7. That's one spot. They'd have to jump.
If one of
Are
those
they gonna-
teams you
UCLA.
said loses
UCLA
in
is
the
still
regular
in that
season
mix
and
too. I
loses
feel
in the
like
first round.
crazily.
But are they going to jump Illinois, Wisconsin? They'd have to jump Nova, UCLA, and who am I forgetting? There's another team I'm forgetting. They'd have to jump like 7
Duke?
teams.
Duke.
Did I say Duke?
I mean,
I
just
don't
I
know
thought I
if
had
you
Duke
did.
for sure.
yeah.
I don't
Hey,
think
listen.
Duke's a lock for a 2 yet.
He just doesn't get the respect. That's really what it comes down to. Like this team is just one of those who's probably not going to get respected. Probably going to get a very hard route to get through. I don't know, but like Marty said, at a certain point, you could say luck, 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 luck. You keep winning close games, that tells me you're fucking tough as nails too. Like, granted, yeah, there's a little bit of luck, they're tough as nails too. Like, at what point do we start being like, you know what? Providence is just fucking tough.
Yeah.
They're just a tough fucking team.
It also doesn't
So,
matter if it's luck, though.
can I
It's
play a
just
little-
you have to play your schedule, and it's like, what luck is it? Maybe early the COVID stuff was lucky of like some of the people that they played, sure, but like as of late, they're playing everyone at full strength.
All right, so here's my little devil's advocate. I agree that winning games matters. Like, what they're doing is impressive. I don't want to take that away from what I'm about to say. But it reminds me of a little bit of like UCLA in the NCAA tournament last year, right? Where they relied on hitting a lot of tough shots. Providence's offense does rely on a lot of, so there's the variance, like a lot of variances in their favor. And it matters because they are winning. Like, that does matter.
Yeah, they did shoot close to 50% tonight from three. So,
but the fact that like they do hit all these tough shots, when they don't, that's when you see them lose by 18 to Virginia. When they lose by 30 to Marquette.
100%.
So like, there's
those are few and but those are few and far between.
Games.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. Like, that's where I think that they are I think they're very proper. Like, I obviously disagree on the, like, I don't think they're the 44th best team, whatever KenPom has them at now. I think calling them a top 15 team, probably going to make the Sweet 16, good team. Like, that's very fair to what I think they are.
That's fine. See, that's fine, but they're not even getting that respect, bro.
I think they are. I think it's almost like
40. KenPom with them 40 and whatever. It's like people still think they're going to lose every single game.
Like Michigan, Virginia Tech, Dayton are all ahead of them.
But like that's a formula versus opinions, right? Like,
right. Those aren't tournament teams, that most likely. They're bubble teams.
The general opinion on them is kind of what I said. They're almost like John Beeline, where he was like, everyone kept screaming about how he's underrated. He almost became overrated because you can't be underrated for 40 years in a row. Like, that's just kind of how like Providence reminds me this year, where everyone's like screaming like they're better than this. So, like, everyone's like, yeah, we know.
Yeah, I mean,
I think he's got a point. I think they're going to settle on the 3 line either way.
We have this luck conversation
I think that's what they are
every time, but at the end of the day, legacies aren't defined by luck. Virginia, the Purdue Elite Eight game. Yep. So their championship, it was lucky, it doesn't count. No, you win the game, you survive in advance.
Well, the tournament, you can look historically at almost every tournament champion and something wacky. Unless it was like, I remember 2009 Carolina just wiped through everybody.
Baylor kind of did too.
Yeah, but something wacky goes their way in the tournament. Do you remember in the early 2000s, didn't Mike, when they got, Florida didn't win that year. They lost to Michigan State. But didn't Mike Miller hit a fucking weird floater early against Butler?
To
run through. Like, you look at even Duke. Duke got to the Elite Eight with Zion. I was just watching that clip the other day.
The Virginia Tech clip, the
UCF. UCF had them on the fucking ropes.
I almost had to get a taco tattooed on my ass after that.
And Hank had to get a cat.
Yeah. I mean, it was, like every year it seems like somebody runs through in a wacky type game and just is you look and you're like, oh yeah, they could have gone. I mean, shit, UCLA probably should have gone out in fucking first round.
Michigan State had them.
Yeah. Anyone who makes a run, a lot of times champions, something goes in their favor.
Yeah, I mean,
no, for sure.
The tournament's all off. Like, all bets are off in the tournament, but Providence is the Big East. They're 23-3. I still disagree with Riggs where it's like people kind of respect them to be the Sweet 16. It's like every time people are still doubting them, even against Xavier and like against these teams where it's like
Butler. They were 2-point favorites to Butler the other day, right?
Even Vegas disrespect.
Durham didn't play that game though.
Still, it's like Butler's not a good team.
Xavier's playing their way out of the tournament too.
Yeah. All right. Let's talk about this game specifically. Was it the game of the year? I think it might be with the Auburn UConn game at Atlantis. I mean,
I'm trying to think of anything else.
The monitors went out, the clock issues, the leak, the
Dwan
fouling,
crossover, the Paul Scruggs buzzer beater, the Jared Bynum in triple overtime when he went off.
Monster 3, yeah.
It was just weird. Like, this is a memorable game.
It was, and it was all the best. It was all during Providence's AD's like goodbye ceremony. He's retiring, Bob Driscoll, whatever his last name is. And yeah, I think it was probably the game of the year. It was the most entertaining game. right? Like maybe not the best play, whatever, most entertaining game.
UConn Auburn early on was fucking
Yeah,
unbelievable
the first
too. But
Atlantis game.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's those. I think those two, and you could probably throw in was it UConn,
Syracuse,
Seton
Indiana
Hall.
was good.
Yeah, and UConn Seton Hall.
Yeah.
No, but the
Those
Big East
four
is
probably.
Big East is atop the news, and you talk about UConn. I mean,
Go to that game, Rico. That was another crazy one on Tuesday.
bro. I mean,
Yeah, was it Tuesday or Monday?
yeah.
That was
I'm lose
Tuesday.
track of the days.
Listen,
Yeah.
I know I didn't get to interview him, but my guy Danny Hurley is liking my fucking tweets. When I got me and him are in the foxhole together. I was like, hey, I heard Hurley got ejected. Must be a fucking ref show. Liked Danny Hurley like 6 hours later. I was looking. I'm like, oh.
I kind of want to just tweet at him. I like him so much more than his brother.
Oh, for sure. I do too, but
Brother's
bro,
in a tough spot.
I mean, UConn got fined $5,000 for storming the court.
Now, who cares?
Which who cares? That's $10. But still, like, what could he possibly done? You're at home pumping up your crowd. What can you get thrown out for? Like, I don't even care you say fuck your mother and you pump up the crowd. You're home. Like, these refs are like at least supposed to be a little on your side.
So I think it actually worked out, right? Like James Breeding, we agree. Technical.
It was him.
Thing I've ever seen. It was James Breeding.
It
James
was
Breeding
him?
should never be reffing a game.
Here we go again.
It was him, that
Yeah, it was
motherfucker.
James Breeding. Yep, James
Let
Breeding.
me make sure
Yep.
it's the same guy. I don't want to
It
start
is.
yelling.
I know what. I think I know what you're going to look at. It is.
Hold on. I'll tell you right now.
Number 24 official in KenPom.
St.
But that's
John.
only
Yes,
because he
KenPom
refs.
does have ref ratings.
Marty, this was the motherfucker we were working at Indiana.
Was it?
Yeah. We were hammering this guy. They love him. He made some big call in a tournament somewhere. But this guy, this is the guy I tweeted. I'm like, I want his name. And people knew right away. This guy sucks.
James Breeding, the Athletic had like an anonymous, like all coaches talking about refs. He's like graded as like the worst ref. Nobody likes him. I saw Rob Doster had tweets that said like he got a text from a coach that just said James Breeding's a dick or something like that. Like, so not great, but I think it paid off because if Hurley doesn't get ejected, like the biggest problem with college officiating is they do make up calls and cater to the home crowd. Like that's just college basketball home courts are a huge advantage for that reason. They don't get that jump ball call or the charge call. They definitely don't get both.
What do you think of the charge call? I was getting
I hate it. I mean, I hate that call in general.
I understand, but and Gillespie's a friend. I thought he initiated the contact. And
I think he slid out of it. It was a weird play. Like
but you have to call. You have to call something.
I know.
Let's put it that way. Guy ends up on the floor. You have to make a call.
But Cole started falling before Gillespie truly hit him. Like he did beat him to the spot, but then he just gave up. Like not gave up, but he started to sell it. Like a half a second too soon.
I lean towards charge. I didn't think it was. I know it's a tough spot, but
I just hate that call. I hate that. Like make a play on the ball. You should not be rewarded for falling down.
I have a very dumb idea. This could just be a tired brain. When it's inconclusive, just flip a coin. Because there's going to be people who are so adamant that they're on the right side.
Jake, there's a hoop. We've been in this world for a long time.
Okay, free throw shooting contest.
Ball does not lie.
Nuts. That is a nutty take.
Obviously not realistic.
That was a crazy take. I can't believe you said
flip a coin. I kind of respect it. Just like imagine being like, wait, heads or tails.
Yeah, just freeze. No, obviously it's not realistic, but like there's going to be, the point being is block charge debate is never going to die. Like there's no way to change the rule. Obviously,
yes, there is.
What?
You can easily change the rule that like you have to make a play on the ball. You can't get rewarded for standing there, or like you can do it where the weak side guy can't slide in. Like you can make adjustments to rules like that to where you protect that bang bang. Not even want to call it a bang bang call. You protect that call from not having to be made.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, look, no matter what, these guys are good. It's
the jump ball was more egregious. The missed jump, the jump ball was 100% a foul.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. These reviews are killing me.
I know.
They're killing me.
I know. But at the same time, how do you guys feel about reviews? Like, I hate them, but at the same time, like, I just want the calls to be right.
Yeah, you want it to be right. There's got to be a quicker way.
With the bang,
have an
bang.
alternate official at the table and just being like,
With a bang bang like this, I'm not reviewing it. I'll be honest.
No. But just the
Either
reviews
way.
in general.
Like,
but the reviews in
suck.
general.
They suck.
Yeah.
They suck.
You don't think you have to swallow your whistle at the end of the game?
No, I disagree with that.
No, if it's obvious, it needs to be
But
called.
it wasn't obvious.
So a foul needed to be called there. I feel like,
I think no matter what, you get no call there. You get what?
Rob Kuhneman is definitely not doing Wisconsin. He just had them Sunday, so he's out.
Maybe Bo Borowski.
Yeah, I hope it's Bo. I think it's going to be Bo again.
Yeah, like imagine that much contact, Marty. There's just no whistle. That just wouldn't feel right.
No.
The official needs a little tiptoes
I don't know.
in.
It's like, I don't know. I know. I see both sides.
I
Also,
get it, Marty, but like a foul at the end of the game means the same as beginning of the game. Like 1 point equals 1 point at any time in the college bracket, like in a basketball game. So it's like, I get like swallowing the whistle late, but at the same time, it's like, well, why wouldn't you swallow your whistle earlier? Like that point matters as much as this point.
Marty,
Yeah, I get the 82 somehow.
Remember Syracuse Duke, first year in the ACC, the Boeheim jacket game? That was a block charge.
Yeah, that's true too.
It's just like, I don't know. I hope we don't have this kind of situation in the tournament in the Final Four. Like that would stink because that's all people we're talking about. Like obviously the Hurley ejection also got some headlines, but the block charge call, it changes everything. Also, another proposition. This one not as dumb. I think you guys would like this one. When a coach gets ejected, we should be able to see a live cam in the locker room of them watching.
Well, did you see how Hurley wanted to come back out onto the court? After they won, he wanted to come back out to celebrate with everyone, and the AD was like, "No, that's not a good idea.
Yeah,
you stay here."
That's not a good idea.
When are they legally allowed to come back out? After the buzzer?
No. I think you're probably right, but I think no one would ever do that. It's a bad look. Like they just wouldn't do it.
Yeah. Anyways, are you guys worried about Villanova, or is this just a tough road loss?
They fucking play 6 guys. They're fucking good. What do you want me to do? They are what they are. They're just fucking. They're tough out.
I'm not worried about them. I mean, that's just a tough. They
lost on the road to a team that really needed that, and honestly, like Nova choked it away in the last 30 seconds.
Yeah, it wasn't like they got blown out. Like
right.
Gillespie tweaked his ankle again. You worry a little bit about that.
Yeah, I mean, it was just an awesome game.
It
was an awesome game.
Who knows?
Yeah. So Providence and Villanova, they play one more time. If Providence wins, I believe it's over, right?
No, if Providence wins this Saturday, it's at least a clinch this Saturday. And then if they beat Creighton,
they have Creighton at home. By the way, their best player, one of their best players, Ryan Nembhard, out for the year, which stinks.
Something bad happened to Creighton. What a shame.
If
Rico,
Providence wins,
it's an injury. He's out for the year.
All right, sorry.
If Providence wins Saturday, they win outright. They're 2 games up on Nova.
Okay, yeah. So I guess that game might not matter.
I hope we don't have any Ryan. You know what? I apologize. I'm recovering.
Yes.
I hope there's no Ryan Nembhard stands who come at me. But your PR team and your fucking administration at Creighton suck. So,
all right, that's 2 different battles. Yeah. So that's the Big East. Providence, ball's in their court to close it out. Before we move on, we want to remind you that this podcast, the Barstool Bench Mob, is brought to you by Bare Bottom Clothing. Make getting dressed the easiest part of your day with Bare Bottom. Try on any of their joggers, shorts, or tees, and you'll immediately understand why so many guys have made Bare Bottom a staple of their closet. Sold exclusively through their own site. You're going right to the source for premium threads without the premium price. For each item you purchase, a school lunch is donated to a child in need. Over 700,000 meals have already been donated. I saw some of you guys rocking Bare Bottom on this trip. It's just it's the most comfy thing out there.
Yeah, it's like designer stuff for not designer cost. Put it that way.
Yeah,
they're comfortable. They fit right. It's like everything you need and want without breaking your wallet.
They have gear you can wear on the couch. They have gear you can wear out to the bar. The flexibility is awesome. So check out their latest styles at barebottomclothing.com/bench and get free shipping on your first purchase. That's barebottomclothing.com/bench. All right. I think the Big East definitely took the majority of the headlines. Obviously, the Iowa trip. I was actually looking at the scores of top 25 games. there were no other mathematical upsets in terms of an unranked team beating a ranked team in Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So it's pretty chalky outside of the Big East. Is there any other big takeaways you guys have? Wisconsin escaped Minnesota. Duke escaped Virginia. Riggs, your team didn't look like they could close a game against LSU, but both your teams got the job done. Same with Alabama, Vanderbilt. It was a squeeze by Tuesday and Wednesday.
Yeah, I mean, if we go through it fast, Duke, this was a Virginia wins therein. I mean, I don't care what anyone says. Winning at Virginia is still a good win. Powell looked like shit. I mean, again, Powell and Wendell scored 12 points, I think, combined. Not good, but they still got it done. So that's where I still think like they have more players to pick each other up when it happens. And then Kentucky just keeps getting it done without Ty. And it's like, all right. Wheeler, which is like, okay, Jesus Christ, they're good. LSU's
so that's my take, right? We've had Wade on, and they've completely flipped. They're the third best defense in the country this year and 106th on offense. And last year they were 106th defense and like one offense. So like if you put the two teams together, they'd be fucking unbelievable. But what is LSU's record in 2022 since the start of the new year? 7-8.
Yeah, but in the SEC, right around 500 is not the worst thing. But yes, they've beaten Kentucky, Tennessee, and Florida in January. And since then, they have not been a good team.
Still with losses to Vandy, Mississippi, Tennessee, South Carolina. Like, I don't know what to make. LSU's dropping quick. I still think they have the athleticism, but I don't know. It's just one of those. They're one of those teams who like was a certainty. You were like, oh, this fucking team can play, So I know Pinson's just getting back and getting healthy, but I don't know. What do we make of LSU, Riggs? You watch the SEC like incessantly.
Yeah, so they remind me a little bit of Alabama, where they just like get very complacent or like zone out for a few minutes. But the difference is Alabama's at least good enough offensively to get back into it, where LSU's relying on scoring, set up the press, forcing turnovers to score. Right. They're like a mix of that and also like old West Virginia, where they just foul every possession. Their refs call fouls. Then they get in foul trouble. Like today, they were in foul trouble the entire game. But like going back and watching, it's like, and they kind of fouled every possession. They just, which works because refs aren't going to call foul literally every possession, and you're going to get turnovers and free points out of it. I don't know. They're just going to be like one of those 7 seeds where you're like, I could see them beating a 2 seed, but also like getting blown out by a 10 seed.
But all I heard was,
you think they fell that low? They fell to 7, you think?
Yeah, for sure.
6 or 7, probably.
That's generous. That's generous.
No, I know. It's just.
But all I kept hearing was, "Oh, wait till Pinson comes back. Wait till Pinson comes back." And I'm still waiting. He's there. It's not much going on.
Right.
It's the thing is like he played well today. It's everyone else isn't playing. Like it's like there's just no consistency. I agree with what you said about Duke, where Kia Clark gets hot. They were able to like handle that on the road, and the fact like it does make up for the loss that they had. Like, okay, we split with Virginia, so at least like we redeemed our loss, like one of the losses they could have redeemed better. Like it helps. It keeps Duke alive in the 2-seed race, right? Like loss to Virginia, Duke probably you're looking at a 3-seed, whatever you think of that, but Kentucky, like again, like what you said, it's similar type thing where just another guy step up. Today was Bryce Hopkins. Like Cal's just kind of throwing shit together without 2 point guards, and it's working. And so now it's like the game against Arkansas is again playing with free money, because if you win 2 of the 3 to end the regular season, feels like Kentucky's locked into a 2 seed.
What's the update on Ty though?
So after the game, Cal said that he didn't think that both him and Wheeler would be ready to play against Arkansas since it's a Wednesday to Saturday turnaround. They're just basically saying we're getting them back to 100% for the. My guess is at least Ty sits against Arkansas, plays the last 2 regular season games, so he's in a rhythm for the tournaments. That's my guess of what happens. They seem to be back. They're not in like boots or anything anymore. or boots are.
I mean, no matter what, that's
pressing,
the only concern for Kentucky is just that the health is a problem. And like you don't know how they're going to come back as well. Like they're not.
Yeah, I just want them to get like into the routine of playing again.
Yeah, exactly.
You know who's got a better record in the SEC than LSU? South Carolina. South Carolina.
I thought it was a Bama thing.
Well, they do, but South Carolina's 8-7 and LSU 7-8. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And I got to be honest, Marty, you're right. I think I'm looking at it. It's the Big 12. I knew like it still had a little legs. The Big 12 is head and shoulders now separated itself. I mean, they were talking about Oklahoma and Iowa State still being in the tournament. They're at the fucking bottom of the league.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily agree with all of that. Like, I think Iowa State, they still had like safe.
Brockington, shout out. He had 35 tonight against West Virginia.
What a steal too at the end.
Yeah,
He's a good player.
He's good.
Yeah, they're back in the tournament. I think. Like I know they were really bad these last few weeks, but like,
they're in. I think
they're good. They're in. Yeah,
I think
which
so,
is
too.
very impressive. Said it before. 2 wins to tournament.
Wait a second. I looked away from that game. I'll be honest. West Virginia blew that lead.
They
and
lost
to Iowa State.
Yes.
Yeah.
They were up 1. West Virginia's up 1 with
my
23
God.
seconds, and they just stole the inbound and scored.
Wow.
Yeah. So TJ Otzelberger, I know he's not going to get Coach of the Year just because there's bigger stories out there, but 2 wins to this.
Coach of the Year is easy. It's
Kind of crazy. He's not even going to win like Big 12 Coach of the Year.
Who's going to be
Mark
Mark Adams? Yeah. But it's crazy.
Oh yeah, it has to be more. It has to be Mark Adams.
Yeah, right.
And it has to be Cooley for Coach of the Year, no?
I think you can make a case for Adams and Lloyd. It's like it's those three: Cooley,
three.
Adams, and Lloyd. I think are the runaway like 3 favorites.
What's the deal? When is Remy Martin coming back? Do we have any idea what's going on with him?
Good guess.
If only Rico Relationships was at the airport this morning.
Yeah, I would have asked. I mean, listen, I obviously like him, but like again, Remy Martin's gone. This team, I know they beat the shit out of fucking Kansas State the other night, like they should have, but
It's sick jerseys for that game too.
sick jerseys. What do we make of Kansas? Is Kansas like flying under the radar here?
I feel like these blue blood, like I would love to see just 1 year. I love the mid majors, but just Kansas do Kentucky in the Final Four, just like reset everything. I don't know.
Like kind of like how 2015 was, where it was like
the 3
Michigan
1s and the
State,
7.
Wisconsin, yeah. If it's basically like let's run back Champions Classic.
Yeah. Like
Kansas doesn't have a great out of conference resume, but like Dayton on a fluke in a tournament in fucking Florida or whatever the fuck they were at there.
Yeah,
So whatever. Dayton's at the top of the A10. It's
that
not
was a
horrific.
crazy game. That bounce.
by eight to Texas Tech, got smoked by Kentucky, and lost by 3 to Kansas. Like you talk about consistency. Who were we saying this about? Somebody's like they haven't bottomed out. Like was it Kentucky we were talking about the other day? Where like they've always been consistent. Either way,
This
Kansas,
year, like they haven't hit the bottom out.
Yeah, Kansas has been. There's very little variant with Kansas.
That's kind of the Bill Self special, though, right? Like that's what he's always done. Kansas has never. There was like a stretch where they were a 1 or 2 seed for like 12 years in a row.
Yeah, I know.
And it's. I do think, Jake, that you're right a little bit that they're flying. I guess technically under the radar because people remember them getting their ass kicked by Kentucky, and everyone just kind of, I think, wrote them off from that,
Yeah.
right? Where it's like, well, if this happened at Fog Allen, what would happen on a neutral court against, name these 7 schools? And then you see them as a 1 seed on like this past Saturday, and it's like
that's a lazy take though to say, and that's not discrediting Kentucky, but just some nights you get the
right.
shit
No,
out
I
of it,
agree.
.
But that's like the marquee game and what people are watching, especially as football ends, and more people are watching the sport. That's like that just sticks out, right? Like,
then that's even better to have a lot of people doubting Kansas. You know what I mean? So
I really like it. I mean, dude, Brown is fucking disgusting.
Abaji too.
Abaji's a obvious.
I mean,
that's an obvious one,
can
but
play.
the way Brown plays, I love.
Fan.
You know who?
McCormick fan.
He's an inside presence. I fucking like him.
I think they have better options there.
All right.
I like the freshmen, like the Adams and the Clements kid. I would just like because again, like Brown and Abaji are just awesome.
And you know who loves this team because he's not the guy, and we talked about it last year where it seemed like they were putting a lot of pressure on him. Jalen Wilson just being able to be like, oh, I get to play on an all-star team, and like no one knows who I am. I slip under the cracks, find my spots. He's loving this team right now. Loving it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, no, I can easily see a world where we have them in the Final Four. Same with Duke, same with Kentucky. That's why I made that point earlier. I wanted to make a quick few Big Ten notes. Indiana, Monday night, they blew the game against Ohio State. They lost by 11 in overtime. 5 straight losses. It all started. They lost to Illinois at home by 17, and then they had the Northwestern thing with the suspended players. The bubble's really bad this year. They're still in. They're still in.
You can't say the bubble's bad every year.
I know, but I feel like anytime a bubble team wins a game, it's like, oh, they're in now. Like Michigan today against Rutgers. That was my other Big Ten point. It's like, oh, Michigan, they're Lunardi's last 4 buys right now.
But we do this every year. We do this every year.
Yeah.
The bubble's historically weak every year.
But I'm telling you, Michigan gets in.
But it feels like no one wants to get in on the bubble.
Yeah, I agree with Reeks. I'm sick of every year being like the bubble sucks. The bubble's like it's the same thing to say there's too many bowl games. Like you're a 6 and 6.
No, it's not.
No,
I'm not. No way. I'm not saying less teams should get in.
Can I finish? There's teams who are like right on the cusp of qualifying in
That's
the
bubble,
fucking
yeah.
What?
That's the bubble, yeah. Thanks for explaining the
See what
bubble.
I'm dealing with? See what I'm talking
Well, you just explained the
okay,
bubble.
yeah,
You're like,
and they're not that good. They just have nice seasons. So every year, the 6 and 6 SMU who makes the Liberty Bowl, or fucking 6 and 7 and 5 Wazoo playing in the fucking Holiday Bowl or the Texas Bowl or the Independence Bowl are the same as Indiana at fucking 16 and 10, right there. They're doing just enough to qualify.
I can't believe you just said these teams are on the cusp.
a podcast removed from him saying, well, they'll either be in or out of the tournament.
They are,
which is still my favorite breakdown that Rico
they're
had.
Right on the cusp of qualifying, and just on the cusp of qualifying is always not good. It's ugly.
All right, that's
fair.
But
it's fair, but I also do like I think this year's is fucking like last year was a lot of solidified teams. There wasn't any of these teams. I know every year we do say that the bubble, because it's also there's a lot of teams. We know that. But I'm just saying this year seems like there's a lot of good teams that are on the bubble.
But I'd rather see if Indiana's going to play like this down the stretch.
Indiana stinks.
I'd rather see the OVC get a second bid with Belmont or
Murray State.
Fucking Murray State.
Murray State's
if Murray State doesn't win the OVC, they should be getting at large.
Well, I just want to remind you that a friend of ours is in the OVC and won it last year. So until someone beats them, it's Morehead State's to lose. I want that on the record.
That's fair.
I'm just saying, like, there's a lot of these teams where it's like Indiana, Michigan, like a Michigan team that was so highly ranked. I still don't think they're very good.
I picked to win it all.
But like that's a team that on the bubble, like you don't want to fucking play them really in the tournament. Where as what are they, an 8, 9?
Right now
they'll be
11.
Like 10 or 11,
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. You don't want to fucking play them as a 10 or 11.
They could easily do what UCLA did.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like there's some teams on this bubble that is a little like you don't want to play them in the tournament.
There's not a lot of mid majors on this bubble either.
That's
Mountain
what I'm
West
saying this year. Where there's like
Mountain
big
West
schools.
Mountain West has a bunch.
Yeah.
But like, and then you argue like that's other thing we don't know how many bids are getting stolen. Like we just talked about the OVC. If Murray State doesn't win, guess what? The bubble gets
right.
Throw Murray State in because Murray State's projected as like an 8 seed. You're not gonna remove them from the tournament if they don't win the OVC. They're now get rid of one of these Big Ten teams. And I don't think Indiana's a tournament team. I just don't know. What have they done? They didn't do anything in the
I mean, if they lose in the Big Ten quarters, Marty, like I know we like them and it would be a good story for Woodson and whatever. But like, I agree. Like, just give me somebody else. You know, like give me somebody who it's gonna make fucking Dukes hard as a rock, but give me Dayton. Like Dayton did what they were supposed to do at the top of the A-10.
I've never heard Dayton so much in my fucking life.
I know, it's crazy.
Was he not saying,
bro? Every coach we go to,
yeah.
McCaffrey had no idea. He's like, Coach, what do you think of Dayton this year? He's like, I gotta go to a meeting. I'm fucking out of here. Like,
he made the comparison. Dayton was, I don't want to put words in his mouth, but very close to Providence because they're hiring KenPom.
He said Dayton's better than
Did
Providence.
he fully say it? Okay, I didn't want to commit to it because I don't remember hearing it word for
And
word.
I'm not
but if you
saying
heard
it's
it,
an asinine thing. Like, I don't think like Providence is way better than Dayton, but he's like, well, they're
like
19.
Providence minus 2. Like I feel the line would probably like Providence minus
I mean,
2.5 or
Dayton's
4 or something like that, right?
Dayton's 20-8, 12-3 in the A10.
With a win over Kansas.
With a win over
neutral.
Kansas. Like they had one opportunity. Now, don't get me wrong. They lost to fucking UMass Lowell, Lipscomb, and Austin Peay. Okay.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
beat Virginia Tech, but in their opportunities of big games, went and won some. You know, I know they had bad losses, but I don't know. Dayton to me has done more than Indiana. Indiana's playing their way out. I always say, give me a team who's playing their way in. Reward the teams on the way up.
But then there's just the fucking argument where Indiana's playing these tough teams every single night.
But they're losing every single night.
They have some wins, though. I'm just saying though, it's like hard. That's where the mid majors get fucked. You know,
I get what you're saying. But at a certain point, like if you can't win in your league, why should we reward you for the tournament? You know what I mean?
No, I agree.
Benefit of the doubt.
There's a reason why Michigan's on the bubble. That no one else with that record's on the bubble, but they have so many opportunities to get themselves back in every fucking time.
Indiana has like 2.5 good wins.
Dayton beat Miami and Belmont in that tournament too. Shit.
Yeah. And Indiana's wins are like neutral against Notre Dame, home against Purdue, home against Ohio State. That's it. They don't have anything else notable.
Yeah, that St. John's win is not getting prettier by the day.
No, like they've beaten their 7 wins in conference are against Nebraska, Ohio State, Minnesota, Nebraska, Purdue, Penn State, Maryland. So that gets you fucking jacked up? No.
Yeah, Ohio State and Purdue.
You get what we're saying, Marty? You know what I mean? Like,
believe me, I understand what you're saying, but it's also again, it's just what college basketball is. Right. It's the conferences where Dayton has 3 losses in their conference, which is like an conference this year, and then the Big Ten's one of the best.
That's what makes this great, though, is that one team can get like UCLA probably didn't have a chance to get in last year as well, and then that team has an opportunity to Final Four. Like, it's definitely not fair, and it's not exact of how they make all this happen, but it is unbelievable because it does shake itself out. I think
it's the most fair there is in any sport,
without a doubt.
Everyone has
so many
chances.
There's literally too many.
Win your league. If you're that good, you win your league, right? Like that's
like if you're in that smaller conference, you're in those mid majors where you guys fucking love. Win your conference.
You could even say it's actually unfair to a team who goes like 18-1 in the MEAC or the OVC or the MAC. Like they're only in a bad spot to lose that championship game. I know there's been a take of like one bid league shouldn't even have conference tournaments.
They have the right to do that. Like conferences can get rid of tournaments if they want.
They want the TV money.
Maker.
Yeah, of course they want the TV money, the chance for kids to play. I do a quick apology to Lenardi. If you go to the Bubble Watch, there is a thing that says conference tournament schedules, brackets, tickets punched. So it's basically Champ Week, Riggs. You can click it, and it's got everything here. So
I'll tell you who on the bubble is playing their way on, at least maybe not fully, but they have the opportunities, like you guys said. Rico, Phil Martelli, game 1, success for Michigan, filling in for Jawan.
5-0 interim coach, hang the banner.
Martelli bet of all time tonight.
Oh yeah,
I
would say Martelli does have a ton of experience coaching 16 and 14 teams, so he's in the perfect spot.
Running a stagnant offense. Fucking maniac.
No, Marty and I were talking. We said that Michigan would comfortably win or get blown out and comfortably lose because we didn't know if they just lay down or play for Coach Howard.
What's his name's fucking house? Was it Houston?
Caleb Houston.
He posted on his Instagram story like, "Oh, fucking keep doubting me. Wait till and he played well. Like these people are Michigan's just a team you don't fucking want to play."
Look, and obviously they don't have Jawan the rest of the regular season, but it's all tournament teams. It's Illinois, Michigan State, Iowa, Ohio State, and 3 of those 4 at home. They split those. I think they're in.
Yeah, but just are you buying them at all as far as their upside?
I mean, it's the tournament. Like, if they're hot,
who do they play in the first round? Like, what's their matchup still? Like,
say they're a 10 seed versus like number 7 Wyoming. I don't know.
I do want to go back real fast just because, we have a history of making fun of Missouri on this podcast. I want to read a quote from Christian Brown. Fucking should be Braun. It's so stupid.
I know.
This
I know.
nuts.
But he goes, the reporter today goes to Christian Brown, if he would play at any other school, which school would he take? Brown goes, anywhere but Missouri. And the guy goes, your brother went to Missouri. And he goes, everybody makes mistakes.
Oh my God. Our producer Jake.
Fucking hysterical. So
That's a
shout out
tough
our
one.
producer Jake for a little Missouri hate again.
Yeah. Shout out the Must Bus as well, winning at Florida. They're on fire, number 18, and of course hosting Kentucky. They can sneak into like the 3 or 4 line too. They've lost one game since January 8th.
Yeah, and getting like if they beat Auburn, and I know they're both home games, Auburn, Kentucky, and like the conference format doesn't matter as much. If they get to the semis, you can make them a 4 seed.
Yeah.
Can Kentucky get the 1 in the SEC?
They need help because of
Okay.
their game back of Auburn, but
I
Auburn owns
can't.
the
Don't
tiebreaker.
fucking even say that. I can't.
Auburn would have to.
Yeah,
Auburn
Marty,
would have
you
to
have that
lose.
future.
Yeah, I got
Auburn
a
would
plus
have to lose
700.
the last 2. Kentucky would have to win their last 2.
Yeah, because I got the head-to-head. Yeah, plus 700. I need that to cash.
Yeah.
They got Tennessee, Mississippi State, and South Carolina. I think you're safe, Marty.
Yeah, Kentucky has at Arkansas, home to Ole Miss, at Florida.
I have one more game I want to shout out, unless you guys have anything else, just because we haven't talked about them this year because they've been banned. That Oklahoma State Baylor game was awesome. Oklahoma State, they had the backwards over the backboard buzzer beater that was called off. That was really cool by Likely. Baylor won in overtime, but Oklahoma State deserves some love on this show because we just don't talk about them because we dismiss them because they're eliminated. But yeah,
I tweeted about it. I love that guy, Boynton.
Mike
I think
Boynton.
he's building something real good over there. I don't know if Oklahoma State is the spot he wants to be at, but I think somebody's going to start taking a look at him, being like, hey, we're in if Maryland misses on everyone, don't get me wrong, they'll miss. But let's say the next time up, is he in the look for a Maryland? You know what I mean? Like, I like this guy's trajectory a lot.
Yeah, no, I like him too. It's fucked up they can't be in the tournament. Like
So dumb.
So
dumb.
stupid. I also want to shout out Oregon State.
The worst.
They are 3-22 and they are winless in the Pac-12. So that's impressive.
Speaking of tournaments,
they are the worst. We're going to look back at them being the worst Elite 8 team of our lifetime.
You can't count them out winning the Pac-12.
Speaking of winless teams, Georgetown has not won a Big East game since the championship game last year.
I mentioned this before. There are certain programs that like everybody that like fans and media, anyone associated with college basketball want to be good. It's like everyone wants like Illinois to be good. Everyone wants Arizona to be good. Everyone wants UConn to be good. Georgetown's one of those teams too. Like, can they just be good because it's awesome for the sport when they are?
It's tough. Yeah, but it's tough. That's an uphill battle academically as well.
I know, but I'm saying it's just one of those. It's one of those like spots that like college basketball is better when Georgetown's relevant.
Yeah,
I think you're gonna look back at John Thompson the third was the son, right?
Yeah, JT third.
Yeah, his run of like just failure. They had high seeds every year and were a fucking disaster.
He got to one. He got to one Final Four.
FGCU. Yeah, was it 06?
07, I think.
07.
Okay, with Ohio State, Florida, yeah.
Their run, that Final Four saved his life because that run of them is just unbelievable. Of how those
then they lost a bunch of. Then they lost FGCU. They lost Ohio. They also there was 3 double-digit seeds in a row. They lost to.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's brutal. But yeah, all right, Marty. Before Friday, you got to tweet out all 16 games. This is very light slate. Just the winners. You should obviously responsibly put a $10 bet on the Barstool Sportsbook because you would make a lot of money if you hit it. I would imagine. What do you think that pays? Like $10 to win a couple grand?
Depends on. It depends on who he's picking too.
There's a lot of toss-up games. It looks like there's a lot of toss-up games.
Well, it's not fair, but all right.
Well, what do you mean? There was a bunch of toss-up games on Tuesday.
I don't know about that.
Marty, you have a tweet that I want to use next show. little teaser for the next show. You had a tweet about what 3 teams you would pick to win the title.
Yeah.
We should do a draft between the 4 of us. So 3 teams.
I like that. Also,
I like that.
So,
no one's done the snake draft in Barstool Rig, so that's good.
That's
original
true.
content. I like
But
that.
we should do it. We should do maybe let's throw like gambling lines on it or something. That from the
tell you,
sports
when
book.
people say
I like
that
that.
college basketball is a niche sport, I have 237 comments on that tweet.
That's
So
great.
fuck all you. And also, Twitter's so easy. If you just want interaction, just tell people to list things, and they love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. Also, of course, our final live show of the regular season, Saturday, Wisconsin, Rutgers, Olive Branch, 4 p.m., game at 6. It's going to be awesome. I'm very excited to get to the rack.
Yeah, make sure everyone's there. Wear your sweatsuits. I'm wearing a sweatsuit. I'm going full Italian, full Sopranos.
Do you want, Marty, since we both have them, you want to wear it doesn't match. You want to wear the high noon sweatsuit?
Yeah, if I still have it, yeah, I'm down.
All right, I have mine. So,
and before we end the podcast, Texas Tech beating the fuck out of Oklahoma. Texas Tech is awesome. I have a future on them plus 3,000. I love them.
2 weeks ago, we said Oklahoma was dead, and they were like 14-11. Everyone was like, no, they're very much alive.
They're dead.
They're dead.
They should be dead.
They're literally 500.
Yeah, and
they're
Texas
first.
Tech.
As of yesterday, they were first 4 out.
No way.
I'm fucking looking at it.
No, I believe you.
The Big 12, bro. The Big 12.
Has a 500 team gotten an at-large before? There's no way.
I'm telling you right now. If they if they're one of the teams that they have the cameras on CBS on Sunday, and they just missed the tournament, it's going to be a letdown. But the Groves brothers will win the fucking NIT. They will make it to Madison Square Garden in the NIT Final Four. Mark my fucking words. Wow. Because they weren't really supposed to make the tournament. It's less of a letdown. They're going to get home games through. I'm telling you, they're going to be like, you know what? Let's just at least have a nice fucking. I've DM'd with his mom. I'm like, you have a great son. He's he's awesome on the pod. This team, I'm telling you, I need the Groves family in New York doing a tour of the fucking Barstool office, and Glennie Ball's giving them like vintage.
Respect the ring, Mrs. Groves. Respect the ring.
Vintage burgers. I need Oklahoma in the fucking NIT Final Four if they don't make the tournament.
That's fair. Looking ahead to the games this weekend: Ohio State, Illinois, Gonzaga, San Francisco. Good games on Thursday. Also, Belmont, Murray State. Friday is Marty's Day, 16 games, and then Saturday is loaded. We have our Rutgers live show, but Kansas, Baylor, Kentucky, Arkansas, Auburn, Tennessee. Oh, if Tennessee wins that game, they're going to be so cocky. But again, it's a home game. They're going to be so.
They're playing
Auburn. Game Sunday.
They're playing Auburn Saturday?
Yeah, they're hosting Auburn. They're going to win that game.
Might have to fucking call our friend Bruce. Pump them up.
Yeah, and then Gonzaga, St. Mary's as well. Sunday, Illinois, Michigan.
Yeah.
Why do I feel like there's 12 Big Ten games every day? But yeah, that's the show. One more show in February. Very exciting.
Sick.
Good stuff, boys.
Crazy.
Yeah. All right. Thanks to everyone for listening. We'll see you if you're in New Jersey at Olive Branch, Wisconsin.
Pack it out. Pack it out. Back the right red. Back the Rutgers red, not the Wisconsin red. We've been fading them all year. Dan might come and just punch us in the face at the end of the game, but
sure.
That's fair. All right. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you on Monday.